guys, this is Deb with Four Seasons Crafts. We are going to start on card number 2 for this month's stamp sets. So these are the 2 stamp sets that we are featuring in our videos this month. So the first one is A Fish and a Wish, and it comes with a punch. And then this one is the Hope and a Prayer. And these are the stamps that come in each one of those stamp sets. So they're absolutely awesome. I love it. And we are going to do our second card. So if you missed the first video we did earlier in the week, we made this card here. And I just love it. You can see the netting there. And then we did some stamping with the waves. So super cool. And this one we mainly focused on the fish and the Fish and a Wish stamp set. So this video, we are going to make this card here. And let me go ahead and move this out of the way. And we are going to focus on the Hope and a Prayer stamp set. I absolutely love this card. Hopefully you guys can see the shimmer and the pretty doves. So there we have it. So this is the card that we're going to make. There's the inside. And we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the supplies that we are going to need for this card. So we're going to need a piece of basic gray. And this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And then we are going to be scoring it at 4 1/4. Then you are going to need a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 inches for the inside of our card. Then we are going to need a piece of vellum. And let me show you where I took the vellum from. It is from this lovely Layers. And this comes in the new annual catalog, but you get 60 sheets. So you get some plain ones. You get some like this. If you can tell, it kind of has like a mountainy look, but I thought, oh, we might use it. It all kind of looks like waves in the background too. We have one that's a circle. You also have one that looks like stars. And then of course, there are a couple others that look like leaves here. Super cool. And then you're gonna get a whole bunch of blank ones. And it's a great product. I'm going to have it linked with the stamp sets that you can just click a button and go and buy those items if you want. And remember, if you spend $50 or more, you get the free PDF tutorial to make additional cards with these same stamp sets that we haven't, that will not be shown in any of the videos. All right, so we're going to need that layer of designer series paper, this layer of vellum. We need this for the inside of our card. You are going to need a piece that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches for the outside of our card of designer series paper that has a gray theme. And I'm going to show you guys something with this. Then we're going to need a piece of gray, and this can just be a scrap. It just needs to be big enough to make our circle. And then you are going to need some scrap white paper. So just some scraps that we are going to use for our sentiment as well as for our doves. So those are our supplies that we're going to need. And then you're going to need another piece of vellum. And I think that's it. And that's going to be for our vellum circle here, which I've already cut that out. All right. One of the things that I want to share with you is the paper, this designer series paper. It came from an older set of DSP that was out called Peony Garden. And this is what it looks like. So obviously this is retired. However, I don't have the new. And this Abigail Rose has a very similar feel. It's got smoky slate in it. It's got basic black, but you could take any one of these light gray pieces and use that for your background. So again, we wanted to focus on everything that we can either maybe use up that's in our stash. This is another one, perfectly penciled. This would also make an absolutely beautiful piece of designer series paper here that you could use for this card. So I just wanted to make sure that all of you know, you don't have to use the exact one I'm using here, of course, because one, it's retired, but if you happen to have it, that is awesome. Otherwise, you can pick one of those other two out of the catalog and they're going to work beautifully. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of basic gray here and we are just going to fold it. And instead of scoring, we're just going to use our bone folder. By the way, when you ever use your bone folder to create a score line, I would really encourage you. I found I do better if I line the edges up and then I kind of start in the middle and then work my way down. Sometimes when I go right to here, I get a little bit of a crinkle in my paper. So I found that if I do it this way, it works a little bit better. All right, now we're going to take our piece of designer series paper and we're just going to adhere that right to the front of our card. And I'm just going to use some Tombow glue. I put this glue in this small bottle. I really do like them. It comes out just a little less full. So if you find that you end up kind of getting a little messy, you might really like these smaller bottles. They just give you a little bit of a smaller edge and you kind of have to squeeze to get the glue to come out. And I like that because I love the Tombow glue. And once you learn how to use it, as far as, you know, just realizing how quickly it comes out, you really do find it's easy to use. But if you're new to card making, that would just be one of my suggestions, is maybe use a smaller, just a refill bottle. And I keep threatening to put those on my website so I can get a little credit for them. But you can buy them on Amazon. They come in huge bags, and I think they're like $10. They're really quite inexpensive. Okay. Now, our next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our piece of vellum here and we are going to adhere this down. Now, as all of you know, vellum, if you glue it, it will show through. Now you can take a sponge and kind of swirl it around. But in this case, we're going to cover up where we're going to put our vellum. So I'm just going to put it right in the middle. I don't really want to adhere it down in all the corners. I kind of want that to, you can see, I kind of want that to kind of come up here. So we're just going to put some adhesive right here in the middle of our card. And this is going to be enough to just glue down our piece of vellum. So again, as we put it down, we're going to want to line it up here on all the sides. And there we have it. So now we're going to do a little stamping. Now, one of the things, when I cut my piece of designer series paper, I cut it in a 4-inch strip. And then I cut it, in a 6-inch strip. So I have these like 4x6 blocks. So for each piece of designer series paper, I'm getting 6 pieces. Well, when I do that, I have this little leftover piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this for the inside of our card. Now, if you don't have this strip because you have the exact measurements, then you're fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here and I'm just going to bring in my snips. All right. You could use your paper trimmer if you wanted, but we're just going to take this and I am literally going to cut this, not completely down the middle. I'm going to make one maybe a little thinner than the other. Oops. Oh, that was hilarious. That just kind of like popped right out of my scissors. All right. There we go. Squirrel moment. Okay, here we go. We're just going to go cut that right off. And then I'm just going to do this one at an angle. And all we're going to do is we're going to take these two pieces and use them inside our card. Okay, we have this. Now here's our piece of cardstock for the inside of our card, just basic white. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our dove, because that is the main focus of our card. And we're just going to stamp an image of a dove here in the corner. And we're going to use Smoky Slate. This was slightly lighter than the basic gray. So that's kind of our color palette actually, or just the two grays. All right, so I'm just going to tap that and put that dove right there in the corner of my card. So again, it's going to look like this right here. So now we're going to take our, we're going to go ahead and move this out of the way, because we're going to continue our stamping, and we're going to use the greeting here that says, under his wings, you will find refuge. So, and again, for this one, I want it to be a little darker because I want it to show through, because it's going to be under some vellum. So we are going to actually use our other color, which is basic gray. Now, when you take your piece of cardstock, you're going to need to make sure it's big enough to fit a circle. All right, so I just want to show you this, and then I already have one cut out, but we're just going to tap, tap, tap. And you can always check to make sure you got enough ink on your ink pad, and then you're just going to press that down, and voila, there we have it. And then we're going to cut it out with some circle dies. And I'm just going to move that out of the way. Now, the other thing you're going to do, and I've already done this, but you're going to take this little bird here, the little dove, and you are going to put it in Versamark, and then you're going to sprinkle it with the silver embossing powder. And you're going to do that for 4 doves. So this is what you're going to, and then you're going to fussy cut these out. Now, if you guys know or have been over to my blog, I actually talk about how much I do not like fussy cutting. I really don't. It's my my least favorite thing to do, but I actually fussy cut these out, and it was not that hard. So again, you're just going to stamp them with some Versamark, put some silver embossing powder on them, and then this is what you get. And I'll put these up. Hopefully you can see the shine there. Do you see that? Okay. Now, if you say, hey, I don't have embossing powder, an embossing gun, all of that, and you're not ready to make that investment, I want to show you what you can do. You can take Smoky Slate and you can stamp the dove image, all right? So that's what I did here. And then what I did was you can take your Wink of Stella, and all you're going to do is run over your dove. It doesn't have to be perfect. All you want to do is to give it some shine. And that way, if you look at it, you can actually see, oops, sorry, wrong. Get it on camera here. You guys see that? You can see the little shine there. So honestly, if I hold this one up and I hold the one that has the embossing powder, you can see, right? They look different. I mean, one's more shiny, but you still get a little bit of glimmer on it. So that's all I want to say. I guess I've belabored that point, but you need 4 little doves. All right. So you're going to stamp them on some white, emboss them, and you're ready to go. So we're going to use those. And then the art of camera, we have our under his wings. So here we have that. So what you're going to use is I used 2 circle dies, and these are stitch circle dies. I have the largest and the second largest. All right. So what I did, here is our card. And what we want to do is we're going to need to make that circle, that gray circle. So the first thing we're going to do is take our piece of gray cardstock, and we are just going to layer these, oops, like this. Let me layer them the right way there. You're just going to layer them on top and then run those through the cut and emboss machine. All right, so then we are going to have our nice borders. So I wanted you guys to see how to lay those two dies down to get your border circle. And then this you can use for another project, and this you could use for another project. So I really wouldn't throw it away. You could just trim off a little bit there, cut this off, and then you end up with a kind of a nice little window. So we'll keep those off to the side there. Now, what I did, we have these two circles. So this is our border, and what we're going to do is we're going to layer. So when I cut out our sentiment, I used this larger die to cut out the sentiment, and then I also used the larger die to cut out the vellum. Because what we're going to do is we're literally going to take these and layer them like this. And I just want to show you, I thought it provided such a different look. So let's just go through this. All right, so here's my sentiment. If I do just the border by itself, it looks nice. It really does. But I think to get that softer look, I just thought this looked so much better. You guys will have to tell me what you think. I think it just looks a little bit softer. And then if it's this way, just a little bit more, you know, a little bit more stark. All right. So we are going to go ahead. I'm going to move my cut and emboss machine here. We'll move that off to the side, and we are going to go ahead and glue these down. So we will start here and put a little bit of adhesive around our edge. And this will give us our ability to lay that piece of vellum right down over. And when you do this, of course, you're going to want to set it kind of right down in the middle, and then you'll have your opportunity here with the Tombow to kind of adjust it a little bit. And make sure you have a nice, clean circle there. All right, now we're going to take our gray and we're going to lay that on. So I found this probably better to put the glue here instead of on the vellum, just in case you don't want to go over. All right, there we go. And again, we're just going to lay it right on the edge. Make sure we get it right up so we get a nice straight. Make sure we get a nice even. Oops. There we go. Okay. Now we are going to take this and pop it up on some dimensionals, and we're going to put that right here in the center of our card. So we'll grab a few of these and put them around. You guys can see this card. I think it is so elegant. It would make for a wonderful sympathy card, or just if you know someone that you know you're thinking about or could use a little encouragement. I think they would love to receive this card. It's quite beautiful. All right, so now remember where we laid our glue in the center, and we're just going to put this right in the center of our card here. There we go. And now we're going to take one of we have 4 doves here, so we're going to take one and we're going to put a dimensional on the back of it, and we're going to put it on kind of somewhere up at the top here. Want to make sure we don't cover up our greeting. And then we're going to take the other two more and we're going to kind of tuck them under. Okay, however you would like them to lay. Just remember when you put the glue down, you might want to put it right on the gray here. And the reason is you don't want it to accidentally go off the edge with your bird. And again, here I want to make sure I am not covering up my greeting, which I think I might cover it up a little bit there. And then we're going to do the same over here. Just add some adhesive and slide our other bird right in there. Wherever you think it looks good. And then we're going to take the one down here and we're going to add a dimensional to that one down here. All right, so we'll just pop this on. Mini dimensionals might be a little better too on this one, honestly, but this is working. Now, one of the other things I did, and I found I really liked it, was I wanted to add a little more sparkle. So I took my Wink of Stella and I literally just ran it across the gray that was showing. Now, you could do this before, but I thought, well, there's no sense in putting Wink of Stella below the birds, so it would get all covered up. So I thought this would be perfect. So that is what I did. But again, you could do this before if you would prefer. You know, this Wink of Stella is such a great, handy little tool or option, embellishment, I guess it really is an embellishment, that you can use at any point in time when you want to add just a little more sparkle. But let me show you guys. You see that? Isn't that cool? Oops, sorry, back on camera. Hopefully you can see that nice little shine there. But all right, now we're going to add some additional embellishments here. And where's my take your pick tool? Awesome tool if you guys don't have one. These are great. And I'm just using the Pearl Basics. And we're going to put a couple of these on our card here. Get rid of, oops. And we'll put, oops, where'd that go? All right, here we are. All right, you know what? We're going to use the other side. I'm struggling a bit there with the pointer. And then we'll add one more down here. All right. So there you have it. Now we just have to add the inside of our card. If you remember, this is the inside. And then we have those two pieces that we cut. And let me find, oh, there they are. Okay, so we're just going to lay them like this. However you want to lay them out, you could just put one strip if you wanted as well. So whatever you prefer, and again, you could just leave it with only the dove. It's totally up to you. And we're going to go ahead and put that down. And we're just going to put it over in the corner on this side. And then we're going to take the opposite side and layer this. Right. Okay. And just move that right there. You know, you could also take this card and make it using, you think, you know, this one's gray, but you could use any number of kind of colors to make it really pop. Like instead of, you could use the gray background, but then maybe you could make this part red. And that would, I think, look really cool. If you ever seen those photos, they're all black and white, and they have like one portion that's a really stark color. That would look super, super cool. All right, so there you have it. Okay, guys, that is our finished card. So I'll bring in the original one. There you go. So again, just I think a beautiful card. You could use it for, like I said, a sympathy card, a get well soon card, someone that's just maybe having a tough time or just needs some encouragement. I absolutely love it. And again, I will put a link below for not only the measurements on the blog. I'll give you a link to the blog, but then I will also put a link if you desire to order these 2 stamp sets. So again, this one we used today was Hope and a Prayer. And our focus for the month is a hope and a prayer and a fish and a wish. So these are the 2 that we're going to continue to do videos on, and I hope you will continue to join us. So if you like this, I would love a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. If you do place an order of $50 or more, like I said, you'll get the PDF template. Just use that host code above. And that way I will know to send you the template. And remember, if you also order $50 or more 3 months in a row, then you will get $25 worth of product in your 4th month. So, all right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Bye.